A very good morning to all of you. I am Prabhakaran. You are watching Karan's Astro Palmistry channel. Today we are featuring Mr. Amit Shah, the present Home Minister of India. Let us analyze how and what are his prospects. As of today, he is the number 2 in the cabinet, among the cabinet ministers after Modi ji. Amit Shah is also a colorful character. He is one of the contenders to be the next Prime Minister after Modi ji. The question here is, will Mr. Amit Shah become the next Prime Minister, or will it be Mr. Yogi Baba? Why does Yogi Baba have a better chance than Amit Shah in the race to become the next Prime Minister of India? Let me take you to the Jupiter finger. You can see that the height of Jupiter is of average height. It is a thin, not a very thick hand. If you see the Apollo finger, you can see the height. The Jupiter or the index finger is taller or longer than the Apollo finger, but they are not thick to indicate the energy levels needed for the implementation. His Saturn finger is very, very straight. He is a person who has got leadership qualities better than his abilities to analyze. He is a person who will not take undue risk. There are chances that he may underestimate himself in his abilities and may not achieve the goals or potential, because even though he has got a very long enough Jupiter finger, his inhibitions will stop him from taking him. So such people's potentials will not be fully utilized. There is a possibility that he may unleash only about 80 to 90% of his talents when it comes to implementing things at the ground level. If you see his this is the small finger, we call it the Mercury one. If you can see that this is the height of, should be the minimum height for a good communicator. He has got a height which is very small and thin, which indicates that he has got a very weak Mercury. That is, his communication skills will not be as good as it should be when he is trying to compete in the race. He will have this disability going against him. If you see the mounts, including the Shukra mount, this is the Mercury mount. It is also not, it is average, it is just developed average. Sun mount is not developed. So is the case of the Saturn. Even this is not developed. Whereas Jupiter, there is I cannot call it is fully developed. It is quite developed. so indicating that he has got good leadership and management skills which he is exhibiting in his present role. He is doing a very good he is coordinating well with Mr. Modi ji to implement many of the schemes that the government wants to implement. So here you can see that his leadership skills has helped him to reach great heights. But if you see this is his outer Mars, this is his moon mount. His outer Mars is fully developed, whereas his inner Mars is not fully developed, it is reasonably developed, whereas only his Shukra, the Venus mount, is fully and completely developed. So the advantage or the disadvantage that you can notice here is he is a person with having above average intelligence, IQ, and good enough potential. His only good qualities or stars which are very powerful are the Shukra and the outer Mars. Even this is just average is what we can call it, because it is not fully developed. So he has got only two major stars which are actually fully developed, which is backing his entire personality. So he falls short in many ways. If you look at Yogi Ji's palm, you will find that he has got 7, that is his Mercury, Mars, Sun, Venus, inner Mars, and his Jupiter of Yogi Baba's are extremely well developed, giving him at the same time, if you notice Yogi Baba's figures, they are thick, indicating his high quality of high energy levels to work harder and to implement. Though of course Yogi Adityanath ji had a very big Apollo finger, which shows his ability to take bigger and higher risks, which is a very, very important quality of a more successful personality. Now, if you see, as of today, Mr. Amit Shah is around 57 years. So, calculating that in 2024 he will be 59 years. He will be 59 years. But if you see after 61, there is a line that is, if I can take it to you, you can see a line going towards Jupiter, which shows that there is a sudden rise in his fate line, which indicates that he will show promise beyond his own expectations. So what looks like an likely scenario is that he will take up major roles in the party as well as in the government to implement many of the schemes that Modi has initiated. You will see that this particular quality of him will help him to achieve many goals which he has set for himself. If you see the thumb, you can see the length of this part and the length of this part. Though the fingers are normal in thickness, this is the willpower and this is the logical power. Both are equal in its thing, and is also reasonably flexible in the sense that he is not as rigid. Whereas if you see Adityanath, Yogi Adityanath have thumbs, they are very thick and they are very determined, strong personality, somebody who will persevere until he succeeds. So here also Amit Shah loses out in the race with relation to Yogi Adityanath ji. I will show you one more finger of Amit Shah, which looks lot more clear. You can see the development and the position of the different fingers that are there. Even here you can make out that this finger is way smaller than the first palang, which is here. At the same time, this is becoming narrower at the end. Though this is a normal finger, that it is becoming thinner and narrower shows that the energy levels are not very profound as it should be. Whereas if you see the shape of his hand, you will see that it is square. So the one plus point that is evident here is a hard-working nature with a leadership, very good Jupiterian or leadership qualities, but the inner ability to believe in himself is a little less. You can see that even this Mars is not fully developed. If this was fully developed, there would have been chances that this ability of his to take chances, to take opportunities to succeed in life would have been better. He would have taken greater risks. So here from this we can identify that of course Amit Shah has got a very good chance, but since Yogi Baba's hand portrays that he is ahead of Amit Shah in many ways, you can see the lines of this is the lifeline, this is the headline, and this is the, you can see that his lines are straight and almost very clear. From here seeing it looks very clear. So here is a person whose thinking abilities is practical and very clear, which is a very good advantage for a leader, because a leader needs to have very good mental abilities, rational abilities, which will actually help him achieve more goals in his life. So if you can see the lines here, they are not so blackish in nature, they are reasonably dark, not very darkish, indicating that he is not a very sensitive or oversensitive person. He is reasonably sensitive, which is a good trait when it comes to, because as a leader, he being oversensitive can sometimes make a person not take strong decisions. So the possibility is that since he is not oversensitive, he will be able to take very good decisions in his life to help himself and his countrymen, or the position that he is holding as a member of BJP. So there are every chances that he is a candidate very close, but not in many ways up to the mark as Mr. Yogi Baba. But giving him full credit is that he has got a very long life, which is a very good indicator that he will be in the party for a long time. That is, he's got many years to serve for the party. So the question here is, of course, he is older than Yogi Adityanath ji. He is 57, whereas Yogi Baba is only 50 years. In spite of Yogi Baba being younger to him, he may lose out to Yogi Baba in the race towards becoming the next Prime Minister, but he cannot be discounted because his stars also indicate better times for him in the longer run. So he is still a very prime candidate for many other things in the future for India. Now, if you want any questions to be answered or any doubts, this can be answered in the comment section. You can please ask all the questions that you want and get it clarified so that you have a complete picture of his qualities. Of course, there are many more things that you can analyze, but given the clarity of the picture, this is the max that we can filter out and identify. If you are looking at the M, that is the heart line, fate line, head line, and his lifeline, shows that very powerful clear yum being formed. If you see little more closer, you can see the money triangle also being formed. Now, which is this are all signs of a very successful person, a person who can project himself very boldly to the society where and when necessary. So on this front, he scores very good, as you can see that many of these qualities will take him to greater heights than what he is as of today. So I would thank one and all for having listened to my views on Mr. Amit Shah, our present Home Minister. Thank you, one and all.